Hello, welcome back to Dee's Veggie-tale. My name is Deidre, and here you have tuned into a vegetarian cooking channel in which I show you recipes and share recipes and some tips with you and some ideas on how to cook a dish without meat. So today we're going to make a one skillet cabbage and beef dinner, but in place of beef, I will be using a plant-based meat. So we're going to get started. First of all, you need a small cabbage, which is probably about this size. Now, I say this is a one skillet meal because I'm doing everything in one skillet. Okay, we're going to cut this up. First, we're going to cut it in half. That there you don't need. So whatever size you want to cut your cabbage. I don't like to cut mine too small. But for those who know who cook cabbage, you know how cabbage, it does cook down. And with this meal, you don't have to add any chicken broth because also cabbage holds a lot of water too also. So, all right, let's get to this other one. All right, we're getting ready to brown the meat, okay? This type of meat here in which I'm using, which is a substitute for ground beef or ground turkey. This is Beyond Beef, which is a plant-based ground, and I'm going to get ready to brown that and let that cook. Also, while this is starting to cook, I'm browning it in probably 1 tablespoon, 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, in which I like to cook my ground plant-based meat in. Okay, as that's starting to cook, also the next thing that I'm gonna do once this browns and cooks, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of onion. I'm gonna push this over to the side and add a 1/2 cup of onion. I'm gonna add probably not a tablespoon, but a teaspoon of minced garlic, or you can add 2 garlic cloves. That equals a teaspoon. Then eventually, as the onions and the garlic cook a little bit, then I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes. I'm going to add this. I really like this seasoning, which is a Better Than Bouillon, which is a vegetable-based seasoning. I'm going to probably start off adding probably about I'm going to say a tablespoon of that because this will be my first time using this. I usually use the powdered bouillon. And you can just add salt to taste. In regard to plant-based, it's different meats that I use. This one here, which is the Beyond Meat, I like it for this dish because it has a slight smoky taste to it, which adds a good flavor to this dish. With the salt, you add it to the taste that you like it. Even with the Better Than Bouillon, you can just, if you want a little bit more than a tablespoon, that's your preference, whatever you prefer. This here recipe just gives you a base as far as cooking, like any recipe that I do, you know, it's just basically, I give you a base of what to start off with and how to do it. And I try to make it simple, but you can season it according to your preference. And my substitute meat that I'm using is a plant-based ground, which is Beyond Beef here. And so as you can see, I done already started browning it. And here I'm browning this meat in 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're gonna brown this. And then we're gonna push it to the side and add the chopped onions that I have. I have a cup of chopped onions. a teaspoon of minced garlic, or you can use 2 garlic cloves, 1/4 of cayenne pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a half a teaspoon of paprika, a half a teaspoon of cumin. Also, I'm using Better Than Bouillon, which is a seasoned vegetable base, in which I've come to really like, that it seasons your vegetables and meat really good. 1 can of diced tomatoes, and salt to your preference to taste. I like to use the Beyond Beef plant-based ground because it has a slight smoky taste, and it really gives this dish, adds something to this dish as far as in taste. So this is what the package looks like, Beyond Beef plant-based ground. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit more, yikes, oil. I'm gonna move the beef over to the side, and I'm gonna put the onions in it and let that cook for just a couple minutes. This is a cup of onions, or equal to a half of a medium onion. This is a yellow onion. I'm just gonna cook that for just a couple minutes. Okay, now that we cooked the onions and the garlic a little bit, I'm gonna pour in a can of diced tomatoes. I'm gonna pour in the spices, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a half a teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and I'm gonna use I'm gonna start off probably about a tablespoon of Better Than Bouillon, and see if you need more as you're going along cooking this dish. Okay, now that that's coming to a boil, I'm gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes. All right, now that this has simmered for a few minutes after putting the diced tomatoes in there and the seasonings, let's do a little taste test on it to see how it tastes, if I need to add more salt to it. I think that's good. I think it's enough salt in there for me. Now yours, you may want a little bit more salt. Okay, now I'm gonna add the cabbage to it. This cabbage I cut up, and before I cut it up, I rinsed the head. This is just a small head of cabbage. And even after I cut it up, I did rinse it. So we gotta put that in there. Again, we're on a medium heat, and we're just gonna let that cook down for a bit. Then I'll add the rest of the cabbage with it. Alrighty, look like it's done. Cabbage in a plant-based ground meal, all in one skillet. Okay, I'm gonna give it a taste. Just a little bit. This here is a meal within itself. Okay. Let me let it cool off just a little bit. Okay, let's try it. That's good flavor in that. The cabbage is the tenderness that I like it. I probably cooked this for probably about 40 minutes in order to get the cabbage to the tenderness that I like. Let me give it one more. Mm, that's good. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Until next time, bye bye.